let's jump into real time and we continue consolidating underneath this resistance. The structure right here, we're in no man's land, currently in no man's land. Last technical break to trigger was this buy impulse, right? And we're consolidating into resistance. This is undone. This last buy impulse is done, breaking below this green line I have down over here. At that point, that's the opportunity for the sellers to see if they have anything and to regain control. And then again, this remains the next near-term resistance we need to get back above. If buyers are able to do that, they are not out of the woods, even by a long shot. You can see over here that we have multiple areas of resistance. There's horizontal resistance coming in over here just above $40,000, $41,000. You can see over here where this was acting as support. And then before dumping down recently, this in early January, it's holding as support again. That's now resistance. That's the first area of resistance that buyers on a breakout would need to overcome. And then above that, we have this green line over here coming up from the April high. And then when we touched it in September, and then you could see after breaking above it, once here it held the support. And then when we broke below it, we've tested that trend line once, now twice. That's also an area of resistance. That's why this is highlighted here. If buyers are able to go ahead and break through, they are coming into an area of resistance. This is where sellers have the opportunity to really make a stand. That's kind of a last stand. If they're not able to do that, buyers should have some follow through, and then we'll be watching that and see how far they're able to take that. These big technical breaks, if they happen, you have to go ahead and manage your risk around them because, you know, they have a habit. This was a big technical breakdown. I called it out before it happened. 53,140. I said, I am taking all my profits off the summer low, right? I didn't want to. I wanted to try to continue to push this trade, hoping that we were going much higher. But when price broke down, you could see the trend line. We went ahead and we took profits. I'm still holding spot, no question about that. But if we break this one to the upside, same things apply. You have to take the strong signals as they come. As far as a potential drawdown, yeah, the sellers are in control right now. The seller, I mean, if we're looking on the near term, I'm showing you when buyers regain this last bit of control. All right, here we go. Like the question is, boom, 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 boom. Any expectations for another drawdown? Right now, I do not know what is next. It is impossible to try and predict price right now. It's a trader's market. That's why we're following all the signals as they occur, laying out the levels in advance, and then as they happen in real time. The last buy signal was over here, circled in the dot. This was put out on Twitter right before it happened, right? And now this is where you see the sellers regain control, that you need to go ahead. If you took this trade and you're trading off such a small time preference, you need to be agile, right? If we're able to break above this area, this is a conservative trend line break. It's a big one. At that point, if you were taking this trade, you might be saying, all right, I'm going to go ahead and use this low over here, and I'm going to go ahead and manage my risk off of that. Maybe I'm going to risk whatever I'm risking, 1%, right? And, you know, that might be a longer term trade off of such a big technical break that you look to trade. By the way, that level that you're looking at right over there, that low of that wick, that's a big one. You can see over here this little line. Let me highlight that line for you. That's important support. This is rising channel support, right? It comes off this top, touching the April high to the November high. Wes, CTM live streams going ahead and bringing this to our attention over here, that if you clone this and bring it, I'm just going to bring it down to show you, right? You see how it's a perfect touch between these lows that occurred in the summer and this low that we just received in January. If that breaks down, right, at that point, there could be much further downside risk. Sellers remain strongly in control right now, but we are close to a potential breakout on the upside. And if you see the breakout, regardless of what your feelings are, hey, be aware of it just so you can make your own decisions. The same way everyone was made aware of this big technical breakdown ahead of time so that they could make their own decisions. We're at that. This is another one of those events. And it doesn't mean that we're going to have follow through. There's no guarantees that if you break out over here, we continue. First of all, you're coming up into strong resistance. I showed you that. We really need to clear above this green line in order to have more higher probability of a further retrace. And then look, there's still a lot to repair on the upside. And right now, the macro conditions are just not bullish for a risk asset like Bitcoin. And right now, there are no inflows coming into Bitcoin. This is being done simply on sellers are exhausted here, potential break of trend, and then we'll see how far we're able to follow through. That might mean the opportunity, selling a little bit higher. A lot of people selling over here. Look, if we get the breakout to the upside, you got to follow what's happening. There was one other thought that I had that I wanted to share with you. It was very important, and I lost it. I didn't mean to lose it. Oh yeah, this is what I want to show you. Nothing's guaranteed. What do I mean by that, right? Let me jump over to here. We had a breakout around December 27th. Let me go ahead and just reallocate this trend line over here. Here it is. This green line that's over here that's still there. We had a breakout over here. And you can see that this breakout failed. And you can see the stop loss over at the end of that move. The breakout failed. And you can see right here where we are right now. Let me just come back to it like this, right? You can see here's the green line signaling that breakout. This failed. And just getting a breakout over here outside of this dotted blue line, there's no guarantees whatsoever. Actually, you're breaking out into resistance. So it's going to be a fight. And that's why we do what we do every day. That's exactly why we are so focused and making sure that we stay on the right side, because that's what it takes. Now, is this a good time if you just want to accumulate Bitcoin? You know what? Yeah, 38,000. We are looking at 50% off the all-time high. Historically, really good place to accumulate Bitcoin. Nothing wrong with that. Do I think that potentially we could go lower? There's a lot of headwinds out there. I'm very clear about the macro headwinds and about the uncertainty. I have no idea what happens next. I'm leaning into the technicals and I'm pointing out the levels in advance and I'm managing my risk around them. And that's the way to trade this market right now. So, Dominic, trade gold. Dominic, on the public channel, there is a wonderful video. It is within the last dozen videos. It is like talking about gold in 2022. The presentation is solid and it talks about why gold, historically, the signal to buy it is when you have the Fed beginning a rate hiking cycle. Now, that being said, that's just every time in the past what has happened. Could this time be different? Maybe, but the reason that works is because that's the countdown. That's the countdown to growth slowing. And that's when gold becomes attractive. We're already hiking into a slowing economy. It could work out again very well. Do the research, start with the video, and then take it from there. The more information you have, the better decisions you're going to make. All right, everyone. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching that presentation with Lynn and Michael with me. Two absolute legends. They're thinking long term. They're thinking long term and they're making plans for long term. Lynn was very clear too. You got to manage your time horizon. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you all in the morning.